Streetbeefs family, what's up, y'all? Face with ya. Hey, y'all see it. Bigfoot, the man, the myth, the legend. For those that don't know, I'm a big Bigfoot believer. Shout out to my favorite YouTube channel, Bob Gimlin. He's a smaller channel, but he's growing. Great Sasquatch videos. Excuse my little girl's video game in the back. Hopefully it don't distract y'all. I want to speak on something. I just watched a fight, Soul Eater versus the Magician. Now, I wasn't there for that event. Wasn't there for that fight. But I wanted to lay a few things out there. All right. Both men fought good. I want to start with that. I want to start by saying both men fought good. Screw the comments, people don't understand until they're in the ring. Some days it just goes different than others. But the crowd was of the opinion that Soul Eater won. And I want to be clear. I have nothing against either man. Again, I thought it was a very close fight. I feel like at most the fight should have been a draw. That's my opinion. And by the letter of the Streetbeefs law, and this is something that I can't really convey to a lot of our viewers because I don't think I'm explaining myself properly. So when I created Streetbeefs, I wanted it to be a street fight in the ring. All right. I wanted fighters to get in there and fight like they had an issue, intensity-wise, okay? The last thing we ever wanted Streetbeefs to be was point fighting. And my definition of point fighting is when you're just touching somebody, touching them. Well, I touched you more than you touched me. It's almost like a game of tag with gloves. Touch. And the problem is, in regular boxing, those touches, judges are counting as scores. But anybody that's been in a real fight know that for the most part, those punches don't hurt. They don't hurt. And in the way we run Streetbeefs, they don't count as much. I'm not saying they don't count. But I've said this repeatedly. We count power shots more heavily. Secondly, we count who would you rather be. Meaning, at the end of the fight, if I absolutely had to choose which guy I'd rather be, who would it be? Now, in this, and again, to the brother Soul Eater, I want to make it clear, I'm not by any means taking anything away from you. I don't want you to feel that way. And in fact, this fight, I'm really just using as an example. There's several fights like this every event. And every time I want to make a video and one more time explain how Streetbeefs ruling should be. And in this case, I feel like our crowd got it wrong. I do. I feel like they got it wrong. By the letter of Streetbeefs rules. The only person in that fight that ever threw anything with real bad intentions was the Magician in the third round. In the third round, there was a flurry of maybe 20, 25 seconds, something like that, where he was actually throwing with some intent. And he landed some good shots. And in a fight where you got two guys who are basically lackadaisical, just kind of going through the motions, it seems. When you have one guy unleash a 30-second flurry in a 3-round fight, to me, that's got to take you to the fight. Again, who would you rather be? At the end of that fight, I don't feel either one of them was severely hurt. I don't feel either one of them was in danger per se. But if you put my back to a wall and said, which one of these guys would you absolutely rather be? Well, I would rather be the Magician because the other guy got a flurry of hard shots landed on him in the third round. Now, aside from that, I want to be clear. I want everybody to hear me. If we're going strictly on points, I can see how Soul Eater was given a win by the crowd. Be clear, by the crowd. Street Beefs didn't give nobody a win. I can see how the crowd gave Soul Eater the win because he was point fighting. He was touching. You watch his punches, a lot of them touch. And in regular fighting, regular boxing, that scores points. But it's not supposed to be factored in as much in the Street Beef show. Okay? In a Street Beef fight, the guy who's throwing with more serious intentions should always be given more consideration. That's the first thing. Now look, if you got a fight where one guy's throwing all bombs, but he misses 90% of his punches, and the other guy's touch, and landing 80% of his punches, yeah, the touch guy's probably going to be given the win. That wasn't what I seen. I seen two guys who through the first 2 rounds were kind of touching back and forth. I would even argue that the Magician shots in the first 2 rounds were a little harder. Then in the 3rd round, like I said, Magician had a flurry that he unloaded with bad intentions. Did it knock dude down? No. But it did have an effect. We seen that even by the expression on Soul Eater's face afterwards. So that should have been strongly considered. Now, again, because the crowd, Street Beefs has no power to award anybody anything. I can't overturn anything. And I wouldn't anyways, It is what it is. I just wanted to give this observation. I do think both men need to run it back. That's my opinion. I think both men can put on a better show than they did. And I think they both believe that in their heart. So, Soul Eater and Magician, if you're out there, let's try to get y'all back for a rematch. For everybody else, again, if you're watching Street Beefs and scoring it the way you score pro boxing or even MMA, you're probably going to be lost. We value those who are throwing with force and intention. Power shots are factored bigger over pity pat shots. Street Beefs is a 3 2-minute round affair. If that, sometimes it's 3 1-minute rounds. And we want our people to stay active. So, questions, comments, leave them below. You can elaborate. I'm sure we'll get a lot of feedback, and that's how it should be. Throw it at us. Big event coming soon, y'all. See y'all soon. Peace.